Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for the Astrology Kabbalah Numerology of the month of August 2024. We're going to start with the numerology and the Kabbalah, and then I will be doing the astrology in a separate video. I like to do weeks at a time for the astrology, first week, second week, third week. It's a very another very active month astrologically, and so I think that we kind of need to take it 1 week at a time because there is so much information that will be helpful to all of us. Okay, so let's get into this. Before I get started, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for stopping by and deciding to stay. And of course, for my tried and true, you know, you guys have been with me for a long time. Thank you so much for your continued support. I will be doing a Kabbalah, start of another introduction to the Kabbalah starting in September. I will leave the link below for that if you're interested in learning about the Kabbalah with me and how I utilize the Kabbalah and how I work with the Kabbalah. So as I said, the link will be below where you can register and join us for that class. I also do a Tuesday night salon with other some of my students and people who can speak the language of astrology. You don't have to be an expert to join us. You just have to be curious soul who has a little language so that you know when I say, oh, the moon is moving through this sign, you'll kind of have an idea of what that means. And it's a great group of people and a wonderful 7 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday. And it's over Zoom. You can join us for one session. There's an option for that on the website, or you can, if you enjoy it and you want to do 6 sessions, you can do that as well, and you get a little bit of a discount. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so we're looking at the astrology and the Kabbalah of 2024, August. We'll look at the numbers and the tree of life in this video. All right, so we are in a universal year vibration of 8 in 2024. Each month I've talked a little bit about this. I've tried to share different expressions of the 8 and from different sources. So we have the shape of the 8 symbolizes balance and infinity. 5 pillars: balance, infinite cycles, material success, leadership, and personal empowerment are the 5 aspects defined by the number 8. Balance, infinite cycles, material success, leadership, and personal empowerment. Karmic equation known as the karmic equalizer. The number 8 embodies the principle of cause and effect. Spiritual nexus. The number 8 serves as a bridge between the material and spiritual realms. Its unique properties, it's a Fibonacci number, and also the atomic number of oxygen. So if we look here on the tree of life, this is the path that gets activated in 2024. It is the path associated with the strength card in the tarot and the number 8. On the tree of life, it is called the 19th path, the intelligence of the secret of all spiritual activities. And when you move into that and you come to understand what that means, it really is symbolic of the rising of the Kundalini. In fact, Taith, which is the Hebrew letter, which unfortunately I haven't put in here, associated with this path is means snake, means snake. So energetically located completely in the throat chakra, the place in which we co-create with spirit through vibration. So vibration becomes very important this month, this year, excuse me. And, we create vibrations with our voice, don't we? Whether we're singing or we're humming or we're speaking, we're creating vibration. I'm doing a video. It's okay. Um, so vibrational energy, vibrational therapies would be good. Things like sacred sound healing, sound baths, and the like are very powerful this year. They're very powerful every year, but we're really sort of connected to the vibrations. And so it's important for us to pay attention to what we're hearing, not just, what people are saying necessarily, but listening to nature, listening to what nature has to say to you, what birds are in your yard, what vibrations do you hear? Um, and it's not just listening with the physical ears, but also living sort of being being connected to our clear audience, the sounds, the what are they saying to you, right? On a different level. All right. And if you notice that in this month we have Jupiter in um, in Gemini that happened back in May, and now we have Mars in Gemini, and that happened at the end of July, just before Mars moved into Gemini, just before um, we had that full moon, and that was the same day that Joe Biden sort of stepped down from the nomination and sort of nominated, I guess, put his backing behind Kamala Harris. So there was a big shift, right, in energy at that time in Mars and Gemini. Will energizes that Gemini energy, and this month we have a conjunction of these two planets in Gemini activating the month vibration, the year vibration, and also if you realize it at this point, the month vibration as well. Our monthly vibration is also an 8. Okay, also an 8. And so I have all the same things here for that August 2024 Gemini. So this is a big energy. Now, as far as Gemini in the charts of sort of the major players right now, although Joe Biden does have Gemini, he has Uranus in Gemini. We have Donald Trump, who's a Gemini with his sun in Gemini, his North Node in Gemini, and his Uranus in Gemini actually conjunct the Mars of the United States. The Mars of the United States in the Sibley chart is in Gemini, and so they're in the house of uh, our partnerships. And so our partnerships are always fraught in America because different people think of different things. But we're a democracy; it's about coming together. But we are as far apart probably as we've ever been. However, that being said, the magic behind the energy of Gemini on the tree of life, Gemini is found on this path, and this is this disposing or separating intelligence. And the idea of that is that it is through separation that we learn the need to come back together. And so it's sort of like that Gemini sort of opens a door, and that doorway really is opened through the uh, through energy at the extremes, and then once we've walked through the door, we can come back together. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to get more and more extreme, but it's part of the process of how we, I think, actually how we evolve. Um, and then if we realize that we're in an 8 month, and an 8 year. So what would the vibration be for the month and year? And that is the 16-7. It's the Tower. So we're in a Tower month. Tower is about illumination. It is called the activating intelligence. On the Tree of Life, it is located here between Hod, the Sephiroth of Mercury, and Netzach, the Sephiroth of Venus. So Venus and Mercury are significant this month. And it activates this path here. This is the path of the Tower. It is a 16-7 vibration. 7, of course, is the vibration of know thyself. And this is a path of Mars. This path is connected to the planet Mars. And where is Mars? But in Gemini. Okay. So this conjunction between Mars and Jupiter in Gemini is at 17 degrees of Gemini, right? Pretty much on Trump's Uranus. But it's and close to his north node, but it's also on Kamala Harris's north node. And J.D. Vance, if he's still with us come come August, politically, not physically, I'm sure he'll be fine, has his north node in Gemini and his south node in Sag. In fact, Kamala Harris, uh, um, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and also J.D. Vance have those nodes. So it's interesting that that's the node that's getting activated. And of course, if you look at the Sibley chart, the Sibley chart gives us a Sag rising, and the cusp, of course, the seventh house of relationships would be in Gemini. And so this energy goes right across the identity, the axis of identity of the United States. So we are coming to perhaps make a choice of who we want to be. What do we want the face of America to be? Do we want it to be an authoritarian dictator type, backed by these nationalistic Christians? It's very, in its way, patriarchal, not taking in consideration women, certainly, and not taking into consideration children. Or we have the other side of the coin, represented now by a woman of mixed race. So that's another sort of reflection of the mixology that is America. She's a woman of color. And she has tended in the past to move in the direction of progressivism. She has been relatively, not completely, sort of a centrist, but progressive, but certainly a protector of women, a protector of women. So that is kind of where we're at. And this month, of course, is the Democratic convention. And that convention, the first day of that convention, begins on a full moon in Aquarius, conjunct the moon of the Sibley moon, and squared by Uranus, tightly squared, like very, very much squared. And so we had the Uranus Mars conjunction around the Republican convention, and we saw an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Unfortunately, so few people were injured rather critically, and one man lost his life. I guess the fire chief, maybe, or a fire chief from the area. And Donald Trump got a war wound, so to speak. And then, of course, we had what happened in the Democratic Party, where Joe Biden stepped away. So we're at a point of great opportunity, really, to move in the direction that we want to see. our country move in. It's not, you know, one of the things I think hopefully we've learned is that nothing is really set. This is an opportunity for us for a reset. COVID was a reset. This is a reset. Biden moving out and Harris moving in is a reset. And so we need to focus our energy, Mars, in the direction of the world we want to see. We want to see. We need, it's perhaps time to get off our couches again. So let's look at what it says about the 16/7. It says this is the time of this is a time, new awakening and new developments. Sudden events can overthrow the existing conditions. If you are in touch with your spiritual and intuitive forces, you can formulate goals for the next cycle. This is the karmic vibration that brings the opportunity to transform and transmute, to tear down and to rebuild. The goal of the 16/7, I don't know why it doesn't say 16/7, is to link the personal spirit with the universal spirit. When we transmute 16 to 7, our path becomes tranquil. The Tower card is connected to the planet Mars. On the Tree of Life, it is on the path that connects our feelings with our reason. Feelings and reason. You know, I was thinking the other day, actually, that when Joe Biden stepped down and he was really sort of cornered by the media, I think, to start with, and then other Republicans who, you know, probably or you know, on a certain level bankrolled by the media, um, but also, you know, Democrats who, for the most part, um, you know, they have their money connections, but they tend to go more in the direction of the people, but not so far in the direction of the people that it's actually progressive. And of course, the progressives scare them as well. But there is that whole thing was a very emotional experience, like highly emotional. And it's taken a while, at least a week for me, probably. I'm still not quite through that emotional part of that, but to come to an understanding and a reason that may have happened or may needed to happen. So we felt it first, and then we put it together in our minds. So it is something that um, almost something that's, you know, that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of from that like upsetment to the tranquility of realizing that perhaps everything is has worked out as it needs to, and to be, to know that you've done your part is really all you can do. You know, whatever your part is, whatever that part means to you is what you need to do. Get the vote out, or talk to somebody who's uncommitted, or make sure somebody can get to the voting polls. Maybe you drive them, you know, stuff like that. Or, you know, going on your channel and saying what you need to say and seeing what you see in the cards and sharing your intuitions, whatever it is, or just really being good people and supporting the people who need the support and supporting each other. It's really about, you know, humanity is a confluence of energy. And, you know, a lot of people have different perspectives, but ultimately we're all sort of moving in the direction of unification, the oneness, right? The oneness of all things. And we have Neptune at the last degree of Pisces helping us sort of get there. But we also have Pluto and Pisces dissolving some of the structures that keep us from walking in each other's moccasins. And I will let you know that walking in other people's moccasins can very well be, you know, somebody in America walking in the moccasins of a child in Gaza or Sudan or um, um, Russia or whatever, you know, like we have to remember that we are humans having a human experience. And it's our unity that's going to help us rise up to higher levels so we don't have to see the suffering and pain that we see. But that is something that we will come to understand, I think. And so one other thing I want to mention before I leave this little numerology and tree of life section of this is that both of these two rungs on the ladder are activated. This is a path that mediates between the past and the future. This is a path that mediates between the past and the future. And we have a new moon in Leo this month. Leo, of course, the sun in Leo, this is the Sephiroth of the sun. And we also have a full moon in Aquarius. So this is a powerful, powerful month. Okay, so I'll be back with the astrology for the first week of August. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for, hold on, let me just, thank you for joining me. And it's going to be an interesting month. Let's watch it together. Let's see, is there anything I want to say? Yes. We're going to have, we're going to be doing the Mystic Sisters this Friday on my channel. That's Friday the 2nd, I think. And it's either the 1st or 2nd, whatever day Friday is. And I'm also going to be putting out a new moon shadows episode that you can keep your eyeballs peeled for that. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you shortly for the astrology. Namaste.